Welcome to this week's episode of Your Stock Request for the 7th of November. Hi, I'm Michael Gable, Managing Director at Fairmont Equities. Your Stock Request is the weekly video where I take your requests and analyse the share price charts. So this week we have Northern Star Resources, Flight Centre, Core Lithium, AGL and RATI Resources. So if you have a request, please send it through. Make sure you're getting a free newsletter, but our best recommendations come out on Tuesday in the Dynamic Investor Report. So make sure you are getting that report. But if you do enjoy these videos, we'd love you to share them on social media or even leave us a review. Our main business is on the management side, so if you'd like our personal help in managing your share portfolio, then please give me a call. And the advice here is general only. So we've got a weekly chart here of Northern Star going back about 5 years. We could see that at least in the last couple of years, it's been trending well, and it's recently sort of broken up to this new high. Obviously it's a bit extended here, so you'd expect a bit of a short-term consolidation. So if we switch to the daily chart, we could see that it's already underway. So it's been trading sideways for the last couple of weeks. To consolidate that move. Volume has been lower during this consolidation, so that's a positive. So I think any sort of dip here, back even into the 16s would be a buying opportunity. Okay, Flight Centre obviously not looking too great from the last few weeks, but if we zoom out to the weekly chart, we could see that it did sort of reject off of a very clear resistance level there. So that was the major resistance line. It fell, having done that. Possibly it's we're looking at levels just under 14. So if you've got a bit of a trading range here, I'd say that it'll head towards the 14s. But in the short term, if I switch back to the daily, we could see quite oversold. You might get a short-term bounce, but I think the risk is still to the downside. Core Lithium. So if we look at the weekly chart, as we could see, there's been a massive downtrend, but it looks like possibly starting to form a bit of a base now. If we go back to the daily, we could see that it's been heading sideways. I mean, you need to at least see a higher high. So we've got the low here. That was the previous high. Ideally, it needs to, crack that high before it even potentially looks interesting. Short term, you might get a bit of a move up to that resistance line. It just looks like after this move here at the end of September, you've had this sort of sideways consolidation. So it looks like, with a decent few days on the market, you might get a bit of a spike up there, but that's the major level it needs to overcome. AGL, if we have a look at the weekly, obviously been a massive underperformer over time. It looks like it was trying to get into a bit of an uptrend over the past couple of years, but as we could see, it recently fell short of this high. So if we're looking for higher highs and higher lows, it's now looks like it's made a lower high and has obviously been sold off recently. So looking at the daily chart, we could see that instead of getting through that level, it's just gapped down here on quite a bit of volume. So that's obviously a negative, and it is at risk that it does start to accelerate to the downside. If that happens, where's the next possible support level? I mean, potentially, it's sort of around 975-ish. You're sort of looking at that sort of gap area here. Okay, and RATI Resources. So if we have a look at the weekly, obviously it's been very volatile over the past year. I mean, the range is sort of 2 cents to 8 cents and back again, and very volatile. But it's still making. We've got a couple of lower highs and a lower low, a couple of lower lows. So, if we have a look at the daily chart, I mean, even just sort of looking at the volumes when it does pull back, the volumes are still a bit, quite high. So, yeah, look, I think it's too early to be suggesting a recovery. I just think that, risk is to the downside. There's a risk that it tries to take out this low. Okay, well, that's all for this week. If you have a request, send it through and we'll try to cover it next Thursday for you.